above the playing surface. Brian Johnson, along with color analyst, longtime color analyst Jeff Waybright. Buddy, good to be with you again.
Good to be back. Good to be home, that's for sure.
Well, we'll reflect real quickly on Wellsburg, Jeff. It was all systems failure last week, but through that, a big opportunity for a young team to learn.
Without a doubt, Brian. Brooke County High School, 24 seniors, and they look like it. They were running on all cylinders last Friday night. The Vikings came out of the locker room and had a little fire there. Thought the opening drive we were going to do some things that looked very positive, but it was quickly shut down by that Bruin defense, and we just couldn't get our offense rolling. Coach Sayre said it in the pregame, we got to score points if we're going to win football games, and we weren't really in any position other than getting a fumble punt here and there, turnover, to getting in great field position to have an opportunity to score. So we've got to get some sustained drives. We've got to run the football. When we went to the pass last week, Pritt just didn't have time to throw it, and the old coach always used to say it's hard to throw it from your back, and he was under a lot of pressure all night long.
One thing I was encouraged with, Jeff, I went back and watched the game film, and I didn't see anybody quit, and I think that was probably my biggest takeaway from that game. In a lopsided scoreboard, that you could have had some guys taking plays off and guys deciding to do their own thing. You really didn't see a lot of that. The outcome was because of miscues, not effort.
Yeah, and we mentioned that during the game, Brian, and came out in the second to start the second half. We kick off, they run it all the way back for a touchdown. It would have been real easy to just pack it in right there, but our kids continued to compete. As you said, missed assignments, missed tackles, blocked punts, you name it. It just happened. We've got some young men out there doing some specialty things, and things didn't go their way completely last week. So, you get time to come back. You look at the film. You try to make those adjustments. You try to find out if you can move a position player one place or another, or do something a little differently. Try somebody else here during the week. See how they stack up. Buckhannon Upshur had the same troubles last week against Bridgeport, but they've got a nice-looking team. We watched them in warm-ups. They only have about 12 seniors also, so they're not really deep as far as experience goes, but on the field warming up, they look pretty good.
Well, they're wearing blue and white, much like we do, so they obviously look good, Jeff, in our eyes. But you look at Zach Davis and his team, his second year with the club. They look to extend that winning streak against the Vikings to 2. It was their first win of the series last year. The Vikings are now 6-1 all time, undefeated here at home versus the Buccaneers. The Vikings have had their way with them, and I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure what it'll take to get back on that track tonight.
Yeah, and that was a tough one last year. You go up there and you feel really good going into that game. That's one you have circled on your schedule as a winnable football game, and we just didn't execute. We got ourselves in position multiple times during that game to score or create turnovers, and we just couldn't get it across the line. And very disappointing loss last year. As you said in pregame, great opportunity to redeem ourselves here tonight.
The Buccaneers were on the business end of a tough start to 2023, much like the Vikings were last week. They lost to Bridgeport 55-13. When you look at their schedule, though, Jeff, Philip Barber, us, and Elkins the next 3 weeks, then followed by Morgantown and University back-to-back. These next 3 games, they have circled. They know they feel like they need to win.
Yeah, if they're going to have a winning season, as Coach Sayre alluded to in the pregame, and a opportunity to get to the AAA playoffs, they're going to have to string a few together, because Morgantown and University, good football programs up there in Morgantown, and they will have their work cut out for them. But, I'm sure, Brian, that Coach Davis has already told his guys, we start tonight. Same thing should be heard from the Viking locker room. We have Buckhannon Upshur here tonight. We go to Lincoln County next week, both winnable football games. And playing at home, it should be a little different. Great crowd here tonight, great atmosphere. As soon as that sun goes down behind that hill, it's going to be a perfect evening for football.
Jeff, Zach Davis has had a few stops around the state of West Virginia as a head coach. This feels like a good fit for him in Buckhannon.
Yeah, you know, he struggled where he was before Riverside and Nitro. We know how those programs have gone the last few years. But, yeah, he's also an assistant principal up there. So, you know, along with his duties as an assistant principal, he's also the head football coach. And I bet he gets the field and other things pretty much anytime he wants them.
I would say he's got an upper hand on
Not
that.
a bad place to be.
Does this feel like a must-win for the Vikings? It's early.
Yeah, I do. I think so. I mean, it didn't take long to think about that, Brian. You know, for us to get where we want to be, it's got to start tonight. If we can't get over the hump here tonight and get a victory, it doesn't look real good week after week going down our schedule. So, yeah, let's concentrate on getting this one tonight at home. Let's hope that our kids come out and execute. They've had a week to think about it. The coaching staff has also. So let's see if they can put it together here tonight at Death Valley.
All right, let's step out and we return to Ripley High School. The WVU Medicine Jackson General Hospital countdown to kickoff will continue. We'll check in with Phil Lyman on the sidelines when we return right here on C98, The Bull. Down on the sidelines now to our main man, Phil Lyman. Phil, good to be with you.
Brian, Jeff, how are we doing this week?
Doing great, my friend. Tough loss last week. We missed you. Give me a sense of this team's energy on the sideline tonight.
Well, you know, everyone talks, when you look at your football schedule at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, you've got to think about, oh, we're just going to take it 1 week at a time, one game at a time. You guys alluded to in the pregame, teams like Buckhannon, Upshur, and Ripley, when they see each other on the schedule, they've got that one circled. And I think after the week that we had last week up at Brook and the week that they had against Bridgeport, I think this is a game both teams are pretty excited for. But there's no lack of energy on the sidelines. They had a great warm up. I could even hear them getting excited over the headphones during the pregame. So and we have a lot of guys who this is their first time playing, starting in front of the home fans. So I think they're excited and they're ready to go.
Tonight, the West Virginia National Guard Game of the Week. The Vikings will be wearing camouflage jerseys, which will make it tough on the old guys in the booth picking out the numbers, but a pretty special night nonetheless.
Yeah, there's 5 games in the state of West Virginia tonight, 2 in AAA and 3 in AA. Have the opportunity to do this and honor the National Guard and honor our armed services. And, Brian, I know we've talked in the past about you and I being children of veterans and what it means to us to know that, they're not forgotten about and how no veterans are forgotten about. So I always love it when I see these guys put these jerseys on and we get to think about the people who've served this country.
Well said, Phil. We'll check back in with you midway through the first quarter. Jeff, before we step out quickly before kickoff here, give me your keys tonight for the Vikings.
Well, we've got to sustain some drives, Brian. We can't have turnovers. We can't have silly penalties that are drive stoppers. Kicking game, we've got to win that, as you very well know. So nothing changes. We can't put the football on the turf tonight. We can't throw interceptions, and we've got to play solid defense. We've got to, do our assignments, stay in our lanes, do what we do best. And when we get rallied to the football and get them on the ground, we made some really good hits last week. We just didn't get them on the ground. And so we got to tackle all the way through to the finish. So let's see if the week of preparation for Buckhannon and Upshur has paid off here this evening.
All right, Jeff, we'll step out. We're 2.5 minutes away from the kickoff of the home opener here at Memorial Stadium. We'll return. We'll have it for you after this on C98, The Bull.
Returned by number 3, International Norway. Tackled by Hoops, the Vikings. Buccaneers take over on their own 35-yard line.
I caught it when the ball was about 10 feet in the air.
Kickoff out from the 15 out to the 35. And Wyatt Morris gets the first carry here for the Buccaneers. Picks up about 9, Jeff.
And, Brian, we talked about that big offensive line, and they just moved the front 3 for the Vikings backwards, pick up about 8 yards on that first down carry.
The Vikings giving them some pretty good field position here to begin with, Jeff. Here's Tenney, hands it off right up the middle and running room out to midfield. So that'll be a gain of about 6 more. 2 plays of grinding it out here on the Vikings.
And we kind of expected this here out of this Buckhannon Upshur team, Brian. They nothing fancy so far in this game, just 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but actually 8 yards plus an additional 5, get it out to the first down yardage at the midfield stripe.
Tackled by Mason Flutie. Out to midfield, as you mentioned, Jeff. Now Tenney under center, right at the midfield stripe. He'll hand it off again, right side. Good push. Vikings hold him to about 3 this time. Once again, that's Morris.
Morris getting a steady diet of footballs here early in this game. And Brian, you look down there on that field, big number 69. He is a man-child, or 79, excuse me, 6'7", 349-pound senior. That's Ryan Kelly for Buckhannon, and he is a load.
So second down and 8, excuse me. Back to the line of scrimmage. Tenney, he'll hand it off to Yardley again, and he's going to be stacked up just across the 45 down to the 44-yard line.
Little quick hitter right up the gut once again. And Brian, they seem happy to just hand the ball off to those running backs and get chunks of yardage. Big third down here for the Viking defense. Let's see if we can get a stop, get the ball back over to the offensive side.
Third down and 4. Good play there by Colin Moore, last year's leading tackler. 3rd and 4, Tenney under center. Center of the field, moving right to left. He'll give it to Yardley. Break a couple of Viking tackles and get down to the 36-yard line, and Jeff, that'll be enough for a first down.
Brian, you called it, breaks a couple of tackles. We had that problem last week. We were there making initial contact to possibly stop the ball carrier short of the first down yardage, but once again, we can't bring them to the turf. They continue to drive forward, get the first down yardage.
Down to the 37. Right on the 37-yard line. That's a gain of 5. Lowry on the stop for the Vikings. Tenney under center again, full house backfield. Play action, looking downfield on the wheel route, Jeff, and he had a wide open receiver down the sideline, couldn't connect.
Yeah, Tenney got happy feet. He wasn't really pressured that much, Brian, in the backfield. Released that ball early. He had a wide open, as you said, receiver going down that right sideline. If he hooks up, there's nobody there to stop him from going all the way, but the Vikings dodge a bullet there, second down now and 10.
Can they take advantage as they are on the right hash, moving right to left, 9:33 to go first quarter, no score, first possession of the ball game. Tenney under center, gives to Yardley again, and in there on the initial contact, Colin Moore right about the 34-yard line, a gain of a couple.
And Brian, Colin Moore came to play here tonight. I'm sure he didn't have a bad game last week, but not a Colin Moore type of football game. Brooke did a great job of not only the initial block, but getting downfield and getting a hat on our linebackers and defensive backs. Tonight, he's knifing his way in there and getting his nose right to the football. 3rd down and 6.
Full house backfield again, single receiver split to the near side, or far side rather. Here's a handoff again, and this time 3. This is Bryson Johnston on the carry.
They just keep substituting in there, Brian. He gets it out to the 30-yard line. It's going to be short of the first down by about 3 yards. So big 4th down play here for the Vikings. Can't say blue and white tonight, can we, partner?
Well, there's a lot of blue and white out there, but tonight the Vikings wearing the camouflage jerseys with the white pants, blue piping, and a 4th down here. Can the Vikings get a stop against the blue and white clad Buccaneers? And the Vikings are going to give them a free 5 as they jump into the neutral zone, and that will be a first down via the penalty on 4th and 3.
And we talked about it, keys to the game. Those penalties, Brian, offensively and defensively, when crucial situations, and they were going for it on 4th down, but we gave it to them. So 1st and 10, Buckhannon at the Viking 25-yard line.
Right hash, moving right to left. Blue pants, white jerseys, blue numerals, white helmets, and a blue Buccaneer flag on the helmets. Here's a handoff. Stacked up right across the line of scrimmage. Like Colin Moore in there again. Wyatt Morris on the carry.
And Moore finding his way to the football. He was able to shed a block and get to the ball carrier. Buckhannon, big offensive line, Brian, was sliding off and looking downfield, but Moore was there to make the stop after a very short gain.
Give him a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9 at the 24. Ball remains on that right hash. Tenney under center. stick eye formation behind him, play action, looking downfield. He has time, throwing near side. Parker Boyd in there to break it up. The long, rangy athlete, number 7, Parker Boyd, coming up with the pass deflection. There's a penalty flag down on the goal line.
And Brian Boyd played that perfectly. He was on an island out there, locked up man-to-man, and played the ball perfectly. I thought he was going to get a pick on that play. The ball was underthrown just a bit, and Parker was right there, and we've got a penalty against the Vikings.
Defensive holding is the penalty on the Vikings. So that will be another first down via the penalty.
And there we go. That's a tough one. When you make a great play, you get them in the down and distance situation that is very uncomfortable, but they get the first down. Now Vikings with their backs against the wall.
Football just inside the 15. Handoff inside to Yardley. Bradley Anderson in there on the stop, but a pretty solid gain down to the 9-yard line, giving 5 yards.
And those running backs for Buckhannon Upshur, they're not doing anything fancy. They're not dancing in the hole. They're not doing anything. They're just getting behind that big offensive line and getting that push and getting whatever they can get, that time 5 yards, out of each and every carry.
Very methodical drive here out of the Buccaneers, as they have, via a few helping penalties from the Vikings, have moved their way down the field. Tenney under center again. Hands it off to Morris, right side. Vikings bring him to the turf. That's Noah Casto at about the 5-yard line. I think he'll be about a yard shy.
Good block over there on the edge. I thought we had him hemmed in. There was a blocker that came in there late and knocked down the Viking defensive end, and luckily Casto was there to mop it up, Brian, and keeping them out of the end zone. First and goal now for Buckhannon Upshur at the Viking.
3rd and about 6 inches, Jeff. We'll see.
Oh, what? Okay.
Probably 4-down territory, you would imagine. Tenney under center again, 2 receivers near side, stick eye formation behind him. He'll keep it. He has a push, and he will have the first down to about the 2, it appears.
Yeah, Tenney just, nothing fancy. You're down there in the position you don't want to turn the ball over. So he called his own number that time and was able to get behind the big offensive center and get that first down.
One more again on the stop for the Vikings. Very active in this first drive. 1st and goal. Buccaneers football resting about the 2.5-yard line.
Turnover would be huge here if the Vikings can strip that ball away.
5:42 to go, first quarter. They've had the ball the entire first quarter. They hand it off to Yardley, and the Vikings are ready for it. He'll lose a yard back to the 3-yard line.
Great penetration that time up front by the Vikings, and Bradley Anderson and others, in there getting a good push off that defensive front.
Michael Vaughn on the stop.
Great play by Vaughn that time. He stood him straight up, Brian, and wasn't going anywhere.
2nd down and goal from the 4. Full house backfield, single receiver near side. Vikings showing blitz. They hand it off. They run right to the blitz. And into the end zone go the Buccaneers. That's number 3, Bryson Johnston, for the Buccaneer touchdown.
Bryson Johnson, he's another senior. He's 6'1", 170-pound running back, and he used that size and strength that time. After he got up in the hole, Brian, there was contact outside of the goal line, but he just lowered that shoulder and pushed his way in for the Buccaneers score. So Vikings didn't give up a big, long drive last week. This week, the initial drive by Buckhannon finds pay dirt.
And to attempt the extra point is number 18, Wyatt Mason. Kick is up and good, and it's 7-0 Buccaneers. Let's go down to the sideline. Hall's Tires sideline report. Phil, Vikings get a chance to answer.
Well, guys, that would seem like that took a while, that first drive. If Buckhannon Upshur is here to play ball control, then I would say that they've executed that pretty perfectly. Their first drive, only 4:55 left in the first quarter. But defensively, that first possession for the Vikings, we just got to get past first contact. They've broken through our first contact multiple times to get extra yards. We're getting hands on them. We just got to get them to stop. So let's see if the defense makes that adjustment the next time they get on the field. Looking for top quality tires? Hall's Tires has you covered with Michelin and BF Goodrich tires, serving Jackson County since 1977.
All right, Phil, thank you. 13 plays, 65 yards. Good first drive for the Buccaneers. And now the Vikings have a chance to answer. It'll be Isaac Creel and Jake Lawrence deep to return for the Vikings. The Buccaneers will be kicking off right to left.
Mason looks like pretty good leg out there. Ron, that PAT went through with ease.
Good kickers in this one tonight. Vikings have one as well. They've yet to show him off. And a kickoff fielded by Creel at the 10. He has running room across the 20, the 25, 30, still on his feet, 35. Runs into a couple of Buccaneers and pushes out near the 40. Good return by Isaac Creel, the junior.
And Creel, the speedster, catches that kick, Brian, and did nothing but go north and south. And motored up in there, got great advancement of the football all the way out to the 39-yard line, and the Vikings are going to start their first possession in great field position. Let's see if they can possibly mount a drive here, get this game back to even.
So it will be a timeout, inauspicious start here for the Viking offense. We'll keep it here. 4:48 rather now to go here in the first quarter. 7-0, the Buccaneers lead it. Not the start you want if you're Steve Sayer, Jeff, but at the same time, you kept everything in front of you and forced them to drive the field and score a touchdown. And you had to tip your cap to them. They did it, and really we assisted with 2 penalties.
Yeah, and Coach Sayer not happy at all down there. You go out, you just get scored upon, you rally your troops, you're trying to get everything going, you get a great kickoff return, and you don't have the right personnel out there on the field. So quick timeout for the Vikings, and let's see if they can mount a drive.
So they'll start on their own 39, moving left to right. In the camouflage jerseys, Tyson Pritt leads the Vikings out. Aiden D'Amico in the slot, near side. Lawrence in the backfield. Parker Boyd split far side, and they'll hand it off right up the middle and stacked up. This is a big Buccaneer team. Not a lot of running room for Cody Lawrence.
No, there sure wasn't big number 74 out there for the Buccaneers. Doherty, 6'2", 324-pound junior, and he just wedged his way right in there and didn't allow the ball carrier to get any momentum off the line of scrimmage.
So no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and they'll look to throw it to no one in particular as Pritt gets it out of there to avoid the sack. Ball falls harmlessly incomplete. Smart play there by the junior.
Yeah, and Pritt, Brian last week had to run for his life a lot of that game. He wasn't able to go back, set his feet, and deliver the football. Didn't look like we had many receivers really in that route. I think we had a protection type of offense called there.
3rd and 10, Pritt throws, slant pattern, incomplete, but a penalty flag comes down as the defender had his right arm draped over the back of Parker Boyd. That's Yardley guilty of the penalty, so they will assist this drive and keep it alive for the Vikings.
Great release by Boyd that time coming off the line of scrimmage. He got inside of Yardley, and Yardley had nothing he could do except run through him or grab him, and he did just that. He was called for holding. So let's see if the Vikings will be able to take advantage of that penalty and continue this drive up the field.
So a penalty is holding. Pritt will hand it off. Running room, it's Noah Casto down across the 45, still on his feet. He doesn't want to run out of bounds, Jeff. They're going to force him to go out of bounds inside the 40.
And there's Mr. Excitement. You talked about it before the game. you had some inside information. They were going to try and get the ball in the hands of that young man. He's exciting out there on the defensive end, can be just as exciting on the offensive side of the ball, and that time he gets first down yardage.
Pritt under center again. D'Amico in motion. They'll fake the give to him, give to Cody Lawrence, and he'll get a couple of tough yards down near the 35.
Tough sledding up the middle of that Buckhannon Upshur defense, Brian. They have some huge bodies there on that defensive front. Tried to go a little motion with D'Amico, tried to get the linebackers to fly out of there, and one of them did, but it was just no running room up the middle that time.
Vikings back to the line of scrimmage. Pritt under center, showing pressure. They'll hand it off to Casto, and he's going to be hemmed in the backfield, but he breaks a couple of tackles. A flag flies in, and then a horse collar has to be called, doesn't it, Jeff?
You would think.
I don't see a penalty.
Very high on that tackle, as Casto was able to spin his way out of the arms of one or possibly two defenders, cut back across the field, Brian, and just couldn't get to the edge. Was, as you said, grabbed high, but there's going to be a holding call on the Vikings. And
so that'll back the Vikings up.
That's tough. You know, got good effort there by Casto, and turned nothing into a little bit of something. Kept from getting a big loss of yardage, and then you get the hold on that side also. So second down and long for the Vikings.
Tough spot here for the blue and white. Pritt looking to throw, flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to, I don't know if that's they haven't blown it dead, Jeff. That's a live ball. It's scooped up on the far sideline, and he's going to walk into the end zone. That's going to be a Buckhannon Upshur touchdown. That's number 22, Daniel Hendrick. We do have instant replay here with Mountaintop tonight. Be a good time to take a peek at that, Jeff. It looked like his arm was moving forward.
It did, but the thing about it is that's just inexperience of the young quarterback. I mean, you just got to eat that ball. There was nobody there. Could get intentional grounding, but the referees did not blow the whistle. And, you know, we can get the replay, but they can't down there and undo what has been done. So 13-0, just like that. And Wyatt Mason snap high, and it's the extra point try is no good. With 3:02 remaining here in the first quarter. Buccaneers lead at 13-0. We'll step out. More Viking football after this on C98 at the Bolt. Scores. PAT no good. So let's see if the Vikings can get back on track here as Buckhannon gets ready to kick it. 3:02 to go here. First period of play, 13-0. Buckhannon leads the Vikings here at home.
So that will be a return for a touchdown of about 42 yards. And nice kick here to Lawrence at the 6. He has running room across the 20 to 25. Still on his feet, 30. Tripped up and nearly kept his footing, Jeff, out across the 35.
Another good return, a good kick, as you said, deep. They didn't get down to cover. Brian, they have a unusual way of approaching almost dead. Nobody sprinting, timing the kick, and take them a little longer to get down there. Lawrence gets the ball and turns it upfield, breaks the tackle, tried to put a hand down and get additional yardage. There's looking at the replay of that, and the ball did go backwards, and I think that's why there was no flag or no whistle blown.
So here's the handoff near side. D'Amico across the 40, stacked up at about the 41.
Tough run there by D'Amico. You know he's going to give you maximum effort every time he touches the football. That time, running to the short side, he didn't have much room, and the pursuit was there for Buckhannon. He's going to pick up about 3 yards there, Brian, but he couldn't cut it back with the pursuit coming. Got all he could get out of it, which was about 3, and not a bad job there by D'Amico on that run.
So it'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Vikings. Pritt in the pistol. 3 receivers to his left looking to throw. He has time and throws it low to his intended receiver, D'Amico. A little bubble screen they tried to set up there, Jeff.
Just needed another couple seconds there for D'Amico to clear. He had some running room, Brian, if he could have got loose in the secondary, but had to deliver it a little quicker than he needed or wanted, and falls harmlessly incomplete. 3rd down and 7 now for the Vikings. 2:10 to go here in the first period of play.
So 3rd down and 7. It's a big opportunity here for the Vikings. Pritt looking to throw, has time. Flushed out of the pocket, rolling near side, looking downfield. Throws it into the hands of Parker Boyd. Great catch across midfield out to the 48. Senior came up big there.
Big play and patience by the quarterback, Pritt, that time. Good job as he waited and waited and waited, and Parker finally cleared. And that was not an easy pass. As we look at it here on the replay, Brian, it's right in the middle of a good defender that time, and he threaded the needle pretty well.
Here's a handoff again. It's Noah Casto bulldozing down to the 46-yard line.
Casto lowers that shoulder. He saw an opening originally, Brian, when he got the ball. It closed quickly. He just lowered that shoulder and got whatever he could get, which was about 2 yards on that carry.
Yardley on the stop, down to the 46-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 7, and pre-snap penalty. And there was some running room there, Jeff.
Sure was. And was it motion by the Vikings?
I believe it was, yes.
We had a couple guys coming across.
So it pushes the Vikings back across midfield.
And again, those nemesis of penalties that move the ball back when you're driving the football. Got a pretty good rhythm going, Brian, after that pass completion. See if the Vikings can make it up.
Looking to throw, Pritt has time, pump fakes it. He'll tuck it and run down to the 45-40, still on his feet. Breaks one tackler, and he'll fall forward out to the 45 for the Viking 1st down.
Good job by Pritt that time, nothing there, and he tucked the football, outran a defender, and the secondary defender came up to make the play, but he continued to spin and get all he could. They're going to spot that ball at about the 36. So 1st and 10 Vikings as they make up the penalty. The clock's running under a minute here in the first period of play. Vikings trail 13-0.
Fantastic play by Pritt to tuck that one, Jeff. It was a heads-up play by that young man. He looks to throw again. Caught by Boyd. He has running room, 30, 25, and he'll be bumped out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
And Parker Boyd getting a little excited out there with another catch. Pritt getting in rhythm, delivered the ball perfectly as Boyd came out of his route, came back to the football just like they're taught, caught it with his hands, turned it upfield. 1st down, Vikings.
Vikings marching, looking to get back into this ball game, and it's going to be a timeout by the Buccaneers. Will step out with 27.6 to go here in the first quarter, 13-0. The Vikings trail. More after this. Off. Stopped by Hackett down to the 11. That's a Viking first down, showing the ability to make people miss, Jeff. Noah Casto making it look easy out there.
Beautiful little jump cut in the hole, Brian. Got him loose, and then he went back against the grain and then lowered the shoulder at the end of the run to get everything he could, which was a first down.
6 seconds, see if they try to get the play off before the end of the quarter. In motion, they'll hand it off to Lawrence right up the middle, and that big old defensive line for the Buccaneers stacking things up. That'll be the final play here of the first quarter. Goes to Buccaneers on the stop along with Darren Doherty. It's 13-0 Vikings trail, but threatening when we return for the second period. You're listening to Viking football right here on C98, The Bull.
A huge thanks to Mountaintop Media program sponsor Amanda Greer Photography. Sessions are by appointment only, and you'll want to book quickly because the appointments are filling up fast. We couldn't do this stream without her. And thank you to our gold, silver, and bronze sponsors for supporting Viking football and supporting the streams. Because
he's
of
not
the
going to shy away
these
from
businesses.
Jeff, that's one thing about Noah Casto, and boy, he's shown the ability to make people miss.
Yeah, I mean, he's not shy about taking it up in there. And, you know, Noah is not a big bruising runner, but he will deliver a blow. Yardley there on the stop for the Buccaneers.
3rd and 7 for the Vikings. 3rd and goal, I guess we should say. Prit under center. Looking to throw. And the intended receiver falls down as Parker Boyd loses his footing as he's slow to get up. Just tried a little back shoulder fade there, Jeff, and he lost his footing, so that brings up 4th down, and that will be an opportunity here to put 3 points on the board with Devin Rader, the transfer from South Charleston.
Let's see if Rader can get the Vikings on the board, Brian. A tough situation there as Parker's feet came out from under him over there. Looked like he might have twisted something a little bit, as you said, got up a little slow, but he jogs off the field.
25-yard field goal here for the junior. As getting slowly out there on the field goal team. Our lineman, low snap. They get it up from one step. He can't get it there. A tough opportunity as Parker Boyd dropped the snap, and Devin tried to kick it without any momentum into the football, nearly made it. So tough break there for the Vikings. They come up empty once again.
Yeah, and Brian, that's tough. Ran a player on late, looked a little out of sync all the way through that. Great possession for the Vikings, driving the ball down to the 7-yard line and coming up empty. Tough situation there. Now Buckhannon Upshur gets the ball back out of the 20.
Have let us down this year so far, Jeff, but there's still plenty of time left as the Buccaneers will have the football back, leading 13-0, I formation behind Tenney. Single receiver either side. Tenney hands it off. It's Morris, a lot of running room in behind that big offensive line. He's going to be brought down by D'Amico and Creel.
Looks like he's going to pick up about 14 yards on that carry, Brian, out to the 34-yard line. And Buckhannon Upshur has not changed anything. They're just getting behind that big offensive line, and that bevy of talent they've got back there at the running back position, just alternating carries and getting chunks against the Viking defense.
1st and 10, ball at the 34. 10:55 remaining here in the first half. Tenney again under center. Hands it off to Morris again, and he falls forward for a couple of extra yards. The initial contact back there by Colin Moore.
Yeah, I thought that was Moore on the tackle once again.
Giving a gain of about 2. Good defense there by
Brian, you're able to see from our monitor here with the replay that the receiver for Buckhannon almost leans to where the ball's going if we'll just watch number 7.
handoff inside. It's Yardley, and he fights out near the sticks. Pretty close to a first down.
Tearaway jersey would have been good there as the Vikings had him. They had him by the tail, but he just lowered his leg, his body, and used those legs to continue to move forward for positive yardage, almost a first down, as you said.
Quick little dive play there, Jeff. Just a quick hitter. Now it'll be 3rd down and about a half a yard. Tenney under center, he'll keep it, and he has the first down as he dives out near midfield.
They're going to push him forward. He's still not down. And, flag down. Let's see what that's all about.
And I think they're going to back him up, Jeff. I think there may have been an illegal shift on the Buccaneers. So a big break for the Vikings.
Huge play for the Vikings. They're going to move that thing back, and Tenney did a good job of tucking himself up behind his center, and then they just got the push, and he continued to go. But they're going to bring that thing back, and it's going to be 3rd and long now for Buckhannon. They're going to need 6, maybe 7 to get the yards needed for first down.
So see if the Viking defense can bow their back and get a stop. Tenney looking to throw, rolling near side, has time. Throws it caught out across midfield for a first down. Very, very nice throw and catch there for the Buccaneers. It's Carter Zuliani and D'Amico in on the stop.
Zuliani was the player that I just mentioned. You can almost tell where the play's going by the way he lines up on the line of scrimmage, but he makes a good play there, brings the pass in for first down yardage beyond the 50 down to the 47-yard line. So another first down for Buckhannon Upshur.
So that is a gain of 15 for the Buccaneers. And a big run up the middle, about 5 before any resistance from the Vikings. That's Morris again.
Morris is having a good first half here running the football, Brian. He's smart, nothing fancy, doesn't waste any time bouncing around in the hole, looking. He hits the hole hard coming out of that tailback position and gets behind those big linemen, and just he's happy with 5 or 6.
Well, this is a pace to the game Frank Marino could be proud of, no question. The Buccaneers just possessing the football, and it's Yardley this time. Creel in there on the stop along with Lawrence and Moore.
Looked like Yardley when he went up in to the hole and wanted to try to bounce it out. Thought better of it, Brian, and cut the thing right back up the middle. Got what he could get. It's going to be 3rd down and about 2, maybe 3, short 3, but the Buccaneers lead 13-0 with 7:46 to go here in the 2nd period of play.
3rd down and about 2.5, and Tenney will keep it. Vikings were ready for it, Jeff. He's going to be close to the yard to gain. Pretty stout defense up front there by the Vikings.
Sure was, and the Buckhannon running backs just stood up. They didn't even get behind and push this time. We'll take a little breather on that play, but Tenney drives it forward. It's going to be very, very close.
Officials timeout. Let's go down to the sideline. Paul's Tires sideline report. Phil?
Well, Buckhannon Upshur continues to show what they want to do. I think going back to that last offensive possession by Ripley, our skill players are showing what they're capable of. When they have a little bit of time and they have a little bit of space, we're showing that we can get the ball down the field. But this offensive line for Buckhannon Upshur is really controlling this game right now, and their push is really, really strong, and that's what they're dominating with us right now. I don't know if we're going to have to take a few chances with blitz or some angles or something, but that's where we've got to get a little bit better right now, is to get this ball back and not let them walk 7 minutes down the field and take us into halftime with this 13-0 lead. Looking for top quality tires. Hall's Tires has you covered with Michelin and BF Goodrich tires, serving Jackson County since 1977. Guys.
Phil, thank you. And look at the running attack, Jeff, so far for the Buccaneers. Bryson Johnston, 2 carries, 7 yards, and a touchdown. Luke Yardley, 7 carries, 37 yards, along with 15. Dawson Tenney with 2 carries and 10 yards. And Wyatt Morris, 6 carries, 30 yards. So pretty balanced attack in that backfield for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and Phil made a great point. We're going to have to do something a little bit different on the defensive side of the ball, give them a different look, whether it's slanting the defensive line one way or another. Run blitz. I mean, they're not throwing the ball that often, just when needed, so got to find a way.
1st and 10 at about the 36.5. Tenney will throw it on command, and he throws a beauty and overshoots Zuliani. He had him, Jeff. That's the big target down there, number 7, the wide receiver, the junior, 6'4", 211, 218 rather. He is a big target.
Yeah, and he coasted, Brian. If he goes sprinting by, that's a touchdown. He kicked the Jets on just a little bit too late when he saw the ball in the air, just couldn't get there. But running through the defense of the Vikings, he was kind of in 3-quarter mode, and fortunate for the Vikings that they didn't get burned on that one.
They picked up about a half a yard on the incomplete pass there, Jeff, somehow or another. Now the football spotted at the 36. The handoff this time to Johnston, and he's stacked up after a gain of a couple.
And Johnston goes into that line of scrimmage. He doesn't have the pop that the other 2 running backs have shown us here tonight, Brian. So Yardley, he hits the hole a little bit harder when he has the ball in his hands, and so does Morris. They pop up in there a little quicker, and we got a player down, the ball carrier.
It's Johnston shaken up. He'll pop up. Football down at the 33-yard line, the Viking 33-yard line. 3rd and 6.
Yeah, big play here for the Viking defense. 3rd down and long, good place to come up with a big play, either a sack or a possible pick. Let's see if the Viking defense can stand strong here, Brian. 7:10 to go. Here in the 2nd period, the Vikings trail 13-0 to Buckhannon.
7:10 to go here in the first half. Only 4 possessions for both teams, Jeff. Both teams have possessed the ball for long periods of time. The Vikings came up empty after a 12-play drive. And a 13-play drive for the Buccaneers ended in a touchdown, and now this will be their 10th play of this drive. Tenney under center, full house backfield behind him. He'll hand it off to Morris. A lot of room on the left side into the Vikings secondary. Knifing in there to save a touchdown is Aiden D'Amico.
And Brian, I don't know what happened there, but there was no Viking defender once he got through the line of scrimmage for 10 yards, and Morris made that look easy. As Buckhannon could possibly go in with a 20-point lead at half. Last week it was 27, but the 2 games feel so much different tonight. Brooke was more explosive. Buckhannon more patient.
Morris with 48 yards now in the first half. He'll get the call again left side, and he'll tack another 7 or 8 more on, maybe 9, all the way down to the 7-yard line, it appears.
And they've seen something, Brian. That's the same play they ran for first down on the first carry, the last play, and they run the same play, and the Vikings, again, not there to put a pad on him till after he gains 6-7 yards.
7-yard gainer. Isaac Creel on the stop for the Vikings. Tenney under center again. 2nd down and about 1.5 yards, and they're going to give it to Morris, and he's going to go right side into the end zone for the Buccaneer touchdown, and it is 19-0.
And same play, other side, and Morris finds pay dirt as the Buccaneer offensive line just sealed everybody. The running back, the fullback comes up and gets the outside linebacker, stands him up, and Morris finds his way to the end zone.
Wyatt Mason in to attempt the extra point kick. Snap back, hold down, good kick. Curls inside the left upright, and it is 20-0. Buccaneers lead it here in the first half over the Vikings. 6 minutes to go. Still plenty of time, Jeff, but it feels like the Vikings have to get in the end zone prior to the halftime break, as they've now been held scoreless for 5.5 quarters to start the season.
Yeah, and we're knocking on the door last possession. We just got to, take care of the ball, eliminate those silly penalties that are drive stoppers. But you're exactly right. Down 20-0, 6 minutes to go. Plenty of time to get the ball down the field and score. But what will the Vikings do here?
Well, it'll be Isaac Creel and Cody Lawrence to return it, as Mason Wyatt will kick it off. Wyatt Mason, excuse me.
And he, when they get it set, he makes it look easy. He's got a leg, Brian. That PAT, as you said, curl around, but it had plenty on it to get through.
We'll kick it off. The heels on the 10 of our returners, and it's a low bouncing kick, and Parker Boyd will jump on it across the 35 out to the 36, who takes that field position.
Yeah, I think Buckhannon trying to eliminate a big return, but yet Boyd takes it on the short hop, just couldn't field it cleanly, but does cover it, and as you said, great field position for the Vikings at the 36. So nice place to start. 5:58 to go here in the second period. Vikings trailing 20-0. You've got to get something going here, Brian. The Vikings can't go into the locker room at halftime with a 20-point deficit.
Touchdown would certainly make you feel a lot better at the break, as Pritt in the pistol. Back to throw. He's going to throw it down the far sideline. Jump ball. Parker Boyd comes up with the catch. Penalty flags are down. What a catch by Parker Boyd, as maybe that'll be the spark for the Viking offense.
Pass interference was probably the call. They were all over him face guarding.
That's a catch of the year, Jeff. Thanks to the replay there by Mountaintop Media. Watch this. He kind of tips it to himself as Johnston was draped all over him.
One-handed.
One-handed right-hand grab. What a play by the senior.
A little extracurricular at the end of that.
As there should be.
And they're going to march it down to the 30-yard line. So big play for the Vikings, just what we needed. 5:51 to go, plenty of time as the Vikings knocking on the door to the 30-yard line of Buckhannon. Big play, pitch and catch by Parker Boyd.
So they move the chains.
Pritt showed some arm strength there, too. He let that thing go.
So Vikings 1st and 10. Pritt looking to throw again. He's got a man. It's Carter Neal, the big red zone cheat code, the 6'5" sophomore, the big fella. Viking offense moving.
Yeah, he and Zuliani, two pretty impressive tight ends out there for both teams.
So his first catch of the season, down to the 19. Zuliani on the stop. They'll hand it off to Casta on the end around, and they're going to lose yardage. They were ready for that one.
Yeah, just a little slow in developing that time, as Noah wanted to get over to that edge. He's saying, telling the official, keep him off my face mask.
Never a man short of words, Jeff. There's no doubt about that.
He's a firecracker, man. He is. He plays, with, as you say, with his hair on fire all game long.
Great kid to have back there carrying the football, though, Jeff. I mean, he plays with a lot of flair, and he expects everyone around him to play at the same level. Pass caught. Parker Boyd down inside the 10-yard line. The big rangy wide receiver for the first down.
Great release off the line of scrimmage. Got that inside position and took advantage of the smaller defender as he got separation, makes the catch, and the Vikings knocking on the door with 4 minutes to go.
Priddle handed off. Nice cut in the hole by Noah Castos. He gets down to the 5-yard line, a gain of 3. There really wasn't anything there, Jeff, but he found the 3 yards somehow.
Yeah, so the Vikings will place they'll place the ball at the 5-yard line. That's where they'll snap it. Buckhannon, I think, is calling a timeout. No, the Vikings are. No, he signaled the wrong way.
We need to be in a big hurry here, Jeff. 4:10 to go here in the first half, and the Vikings have found something in the passing game. You go back and watch the film last week, and the offensive line drew the ire of a lot of the Viking faithful, but when you watch that, Tyson had a lot of clean pockets. He just had to step up in the pocket, and it looks like he's improved that tonight. And you're asking a junior in his first opportunity for the game to slow down a little bit up at Brook. It didn't. Tonight, it looks like it's a little slower.
Yeah, we just couldn't block Brook last week. They were all over Pritt. And tonight, a little different story. The Viking offensive line is doing a much better job of giving him a much cleaner pocket. But he is, Brian. He stepped back there. He's looking at his reads, and he's coming off and finding the open receiver most of the time here tonight.
You got Parker Boyd. You got Carter Neal. You got some big targets down there, Jeff. Opportunity to maybe throw a fade to the back pylon or just a jump ball to some of those big basketball-type bodies down there in the red zone.
And then you got Casto and D'Amico that can flare out of there, too.
Pritt rolling right, looking to throw, looking in the end zone, in and out of the hands. Noah Casto had it. Took his eyes off of it, and it falls incomplete. 3rd and 5.
And there was that running back coming through the line clean. And Noah was wide open. He's having a little conversation with one of the Buccaneer defensive backs. And he had him beat.
Is it 2-down territory here, Jeff? Or you kick it? You try to kick it again.
I tell you, Brian, I like getting points on the board, but man, we need 6 in the worst way.
Snap to Pritt, looking left, throws, intercepted at the 1-yard line. It's Yardley.
And it looked like Pritt thought they were going, that Parker was going to go one way, he went the other.
Penalty flag down though, Jeff.
And Yardley picks the ball off, but it was late, so I don't know if there's some jawing going on after the interception. The ball will be at the 1-yard line if it's an interception. And sportsmanlike against Buckhannon.
So it'll be a 6-inch penalty.
Yeah, after the play, they'll move it back half a yard or so. Inside the 1-yard line, but tough break with 4 minutes to go in this first half. The Vikings once again get it down deep into Buckhannon territory, Brian, and just can't get points on the board. So tough break for the Vikings. The defense is going to have to hold. There's still 4 minutes to go, and Buckhannon has shown the ability to get down the field in a hurry.
So Buckhannon backed up in the shadow of their own goalpost.
So 3:48 on a running clock, 20-0. Buckhannon over Ripley, second period of play. And let's see how the Viking defense reacts.
So deep in their own territory, the Vikings hopefully keep them off the scoreboard again here, Jeffrey.
Yes, definitely we need to not go into the locker room any further behind. And I don't know, it's the Vikings I think they've got a couple timeouts, Brian. If they can get the down distance right and stop the clock, they might get it back in field position good enough to get another opportunity here before the half. So let's see if we can get a stop here on 3rd and 5, excuse me.
3rd down and 5. See if the Viking defense can bow their backs and get a big stop here. Under center is Tenney. Vikings showing pressure. They'll hand it off to Morris, right side. Same play. They've got big yardage on it. He gets it again out across the 20. Has the 1st down.
And there's something they're seeing over there in that tight end tackle gap, Brian. He once again ran clean for 15 yards before a Viking defender was able to bring him down. So Buckhannon gets the ball out beyond the 20-yard line, 2:25 to go. And they may be thinking score here now. They were thinking preservation early in that drive.
1st and 10. It's 23, their own 23. Tenney under center. He'll hand it off left side, and the Vikings are ready for it this time. Morris nowhere to go, and that's Noah Casto.
Yeah, Casto sniffed that out early. That was the same play, just the opposite side that they scored on a minute ago. And Noah was right there in the hole and brings him down with no gain on that play.
Under 2 minutes to go here in the half. And they're content, Jeff. They're content with a 20-0 lead to just melt as much clock as possible and get into the halftime break with a 3-score lead.
Yeah, those big guys are wanting to get in that locker room and get some water.
Tenney under center. Counter play. They hand it off, and a lot of running room out there, and a touchdown saving tackle. Probably that's Davis on the carry, and that's Parker Boyd on the stop.
And Davis showed a little bit of speed out there on that edge, and Parker comes up and makes a great play. You said it, buddy. That may have been pay dirt had Parker not brought him down. Now 3rd and 4.
Clock ticking, 1 minute remaining. Yardley and Morris in the backfield. Tenney under center. Play action, looking to throw, rolling near side, under pressure. He'll tuck the ball and run it across the 40, across the 45, and run out of bounds. Tenney showing some wheels. Jeff, quick quarterback. Big gainer there.
Yep, used his legs that time to get out of the reach of the Viking defenders. Had a blocker in front of him down the sideline. Wisely stepped out of bounds to stop the clock with 43 seconds to go here in the 2nd period. So Buckhannon with another 1st down at the 45-yard line.
43.7 to go. Tenney in the gun. Left side, he's going to run with it. Design play. Looking for room. Tucks it. Puts his shoulder down, and we run out of bounds at about the 47-yard line.
Clock continues to run. Now it stops at 28.9. I don't know if he went out of bounds.
I'll mark him out at the 48, so that's a gain of 9.
I think they're going to put some more time on the clock, probably, Brian.
28.9 to go right now with this clock stopped.
Looked like he went out of bounds at about 37, so let's see what they put back.
They're going to put 4 back on, so 32.9. 34, excuse me. $20-0, Vikings trailing here. Home opener. Offense has shown some signs of life here tonight, Jeff, but just haven't been able to get the ball in the end zone and get convert on field goals and opportunities. It's been a half of missed opportunities for the Viking offense. Defense not played bad, Jeff. Given up 2 touchdowns. One touchdown via the turnover for the Buccaneers. So Vikings don't turn the ball over and convert on their field goals. And a little trouble here for Tenney. Flushed out of the pocket, looking downfield. He'll float it. He's got a man caught on the hip. Fantastic catch there by the intended receiver. That's Ian Strader, but there's a penalty flag all the way back at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to bring it back for a hold. Block in the back. Okay.
Wow.
Odd time to have a block in the back.
Yeah, big play negated that time. Ball was underthrown as he was throwing it on the run, but the receiver was able, as you said, to catch it on his hip and corral it before he was knocked out of bounds. But it's all for naught, as they're going to bring that ball back up the field on the Buckhannon side of the 50, and they're going to move it all the way back inside their own 40-yard line at the 39, maybe the 38 even.
So a tough break for the Buccaneers. Second down and 15.
And a big break for the Vikings.
Absolutely.
With that field goal kicker, they were in range, Brian, with that catch.
Easily within his range. Football at the, as you said, the 38-yard line. Second down at about 15. 24.6. Tenney will throw it. Throws it up for grabs down the far sideline, and he had his man. Just overshoots him. That was Strader once again.
Wow. That was a hold your breath moment, Brian, as he was running free down the sideline and just led him too long and too wide to bring that ball in. So, again, with 19.6 seconds to go, Buckhannon, Brian, 20-0. Vikings got to keep them off the board here with under 20 seconds to go in the half.
3rd and 15 from their own 39-yard line, leading it 20-0. Vikings, great time to pick one off and run it back the other way, Jeff, if you're a Viking. But they're going to hand this one off. And I believe that's Morris, and he is fighting for yards across the 45 out to the 47.
That'll probably do it, Brian, as Buckhannon runs the ball once again. And it's 3-2-1, and the half is over.
Lowry on the stop, that'll do it. Here in the first half, Vikings will go back to the drawing board at halftime, trailing 20-0. We'll return with the Johnson Insurance Agency halftime report after this, right here on C98, The Bull. halftime report. Vikings trailing 20-0 here at the break. Jeff, and the Vikings missed opportunities, I think maybe how you would describe what happened in that first half for the Vikings. You look at 11 first downs for the Buccaneers, 7 for the Vikings. Vikings got 5 of their first downs on passes. Buccaneers 10 of their 11 via the running game. But you look at the game statistics, they're not that different, Jeff, but it's been miscues. A fumble that resulted in a touchdown for the Buccaneers. A mishandled snap on a field goal that cost us 3 points. And a turnover on the 1-yard line and an interception. This very easily could be a 14-10 football game right now.
It sure could, Brian. Buckhannon came out and showed very early what they had planned to do, and that was run the football. And they were very successful in driving it all the way down, putting the ball in the end zone for the first score. The Vikings, on the other hand, did the same. They came down, as you said, the yardage is not that much different. The Vikings were able to move the football, just couldn't get it in the end zone. Bad snap on a field goal attempt led to no points for the Vikings. They get down inside the 10-yard line once again in the second period and have a pass picked off at the 1-yard line and came up empty twice. But, yeah, it could be a 2014 ball game. You know, and the effort is there. The want to is there for the Vikings. Buckhannon's got that huge offensive line, Brian, and they are having their way with the Vikings at the line of scrimmage. So much their running backs are finding running lanes early and often. And they got a quarterback out there that can also spin it a little bit. And some, as you said, pregame, some rangy wide receivers. Parker Boyd has had a great night thus far for the Vikings on the receiving side of the ball. He's been able to get himself open. And Pritt has had more time tonight and showing a little more poise there in the pocket and being able to stretch the field. We just haven't been able to get it across the goal line. And I know that's frustrating for the kids out there playing. It's frustrating for the coaching staff because they have been knocking on the door all night long.
What do you do, Jeff, in this instance? What are you, if you're Coach Sayer in that locker room right now and you're looking, I believe we accept the opening kickoff. So an opportunity there, Jeff, for us to get some points on the board. But we've showed the ability to move the ball and the ability to give ourselves opportunities. We just have not been able to capitalize.
No, I don't know, Brian. I mean, you made a move by putting Noah Casto back there, and he's shown the ability to get up into the hole and get some positive yards. We did set up the passing game a little bit via the run because we were able to run it. Last week we were not, and when we went to the pass, it was almost seemed like desperation mode because we couldn't run the ball. Tonight, much better job blocking up front, finding some running room. Pritt has made some plays with his feet to get the Vikings in field position and extend drives. It's just the same old thing, penalties and turnovers. When you got a drive going on that you just can't have and be successful. So got to clean it up a little bit in the second half. We get the ball, we take it down to score, and they get the defense out there and shut the Buccaneers offense down. I'm sure the defensive staff is in there right now asking the kids what in the world is going on out there. What are you seeing? What? How is Morse getting clean through the line in that off-tackle play? And I'm sure they're trying to clean some things up.
Pretty decent job, really, after that first drive of slowing their running game down. Aside from that off-tackle play to Morris, we've really struggled to find any way to stop that play, Jeff, but I thought otherwise, defensively, we've done a decent job of slowing their run game.
Yeah, we have. You know, it's just the burst that they get and the timing of those things. You know, we get them in 3rd and long, and we haven't been able to stop them consistently, Brian. And when, you know, we jump off sides in that first drive when we had it 4th and 3 or 4 and give them a first down. They've been able to come up with the big plays when they needed them, and that has been a thorn in our side all night long. So, once again, the defense has got to find a way. We just got to find a way to get a stop, get the offense back out there. And we can't allow Buckhannon to have 5-6 minute drives in the second half. We've got to get the offense back on the field, and we've got to move the ball down the field. We've shown the ability to do that through the air and stretch the field a little bit, make some big plays. So let's see if we can continue to do that, but finish it by getting the ball in the end zone.
Jeff, let's talk a little bit about something going on here in the community over the next couple of weeks. It's a Viking Voices golf outing / fundraiser on Saturday, October the 7th at Green Hills Country Club. It will be a golf outing in memory of Mike Rubin and John Rice, two guys that you and I have spent a lot of time with over the years in the booth and traveling, and Terry Landis is heading that up. If you are interested in sponsoring a hole or getting a team together, please get a hold of Terry Landis. His number is 404-272-2649. I just encourage everyone to be a part of that. This is a great scholarship fund that honor two great men that gave a lot to this community and gave a lot to this program. Something I know you and I are very passionate about. So just hope the Viking fans and the Viking faithful will get behind this opportunity and raise some money for the kids in the honor of those two.
Yeah, and it's really exciting, Brian, to be able to do this. Terry and Johnny Ray and others have been instrumental in getting this done. Alex Easton has done a tremendous job of getting the course back in shape this year. Done a great job. It's a really nice venue to go have a tournament at. And it'll be a fun day. I mean, there's going to be on-course prizes. There's going to be all kinds of different things going on. And as you said, what better cause than for Viking Voices? I think often of John. We talk about John, especially when we're getting ready to go to eat. He was an IHOP guy. He never got to go.
He never. If you had to be in the car with us to understand the restaurant game, but John never was allowed to eat at IHOP pregame. And I know that stuck in his craw till his final days.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, of course, Rube and the impact he had on so many lives here in Ripley through athletics and also in community events with the CVB. And so, we miss him tremendously. We think of him often. But this is just a way to show our appreciation and also help some young men and women with scholarship opportunities and for them to go forward and be successful in their lives. And there was nothing more that Mike or John wanted to see than Ripley kids do good. So let's come out. It's going to be a great day, and tee it up.
Also, next home game, I want to encourage everyone, we're going to have a special presentation in honor of Mike Rubin. And we'll have some of the Rubin family here, and it's just going to be a special night. It'll be homecoming, so I encourage everyone to come out and be a part of that moment. You can't walk on the campus of Ripley High School without feeling the presence of Mike Rubin, even after losing him just nearly 9 months ago to the day. So we certainly miss him, but we encourage you to come out and be a part of that here in a few weeks on September the 22nd. We'll step out. We return. We'll have more of the Johnson Insurance Agency halftime report right here on C98 The Bull.
Something's happened with me.
Roane County, don't have a score with Roane and Lincoln County. Lincoln County is who the Vikings' next opponent will be. Also, we looked at it just a moment ago, the Winfield Herbert Hoover score. Winfield bouncing back under head coach Eddie Smolder. They lead at halftime 28-7. Herbert Hoover took it on the chin last week against Scott. They are having a tough time again tonight at the hands of Winfield. Gallia Academy in Ohio across the Battle of the Bridge as they lead Point Pleasant in the second quarter 28-10. Another Viking opponent here in the season. Shady Spring 21, Nicholas County 7. Our friends over the hill at Ravenswood are open tonight. So no score there. Wahama is over Doddridge County 28-18. Doddridge County lost to St. Mary's in the season opener. And so Doddridge County in a rebuilding year, and they're struggling early in the season also. Brian, quickly, thanks to Jeff and Cindy at the Yacht Club for the pregame meal.
Feeding us tonight, yes.
Once again, we both had enough wings to sink a boat. I don't know about floating a boat, sink a boat.
In those wings, Jeff, but there's something that he's quite addictive.
It's legal, but it shouldn't be.
So thanks to them, as you said, as always, for providing the food up here in the press box, and hopefully the air conditioner will be fixed next time we're up here. It's
well,
a little warm.
The superintendent was sweating, and I think he's already put in a work order for that to be fixed before the next home game.
So both teams back out on the field, Jeff, and let's note, Phil, you're in on this as well. Let's note there are 3 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the halftime break. Let's see if they put extra time on the clock. What say you, Phil?
I just want you to know, I came down here early just to be here for this moment.
You gotta go with what excites you right now, Phil, and that is the halftime clock predicament. Jeff, you think they put more on?
Well, I mean, both teams are out. If we put it back on, it's because the referees are late and not warmed up.
We'll find out when we come back. 3:20 to go, clock turning here in the halftime break. Second half action after this. You've been listening to the Johnson Insurance Agency halftime report right here on C98 The Bull.
Yeah, looking sharp out there tonight, both teams. You know, we would have blue and white against blue and white had it not been for the camouflage jerseys that the Vikings were wearing tonight. Now let's see if they can come out to start the second half in attack mode.
I nearly called a touchdown when we threw the interception because he threw it right to the guy in blue and white. And for a moment, felt like it was one of our guys. Unfortunately, that foiled a touchdown opportunity for the Vikings as Yardley made a fantastic play.
Yeah, sure did. And here we go. Both teams are on their side on the sidelines.
Phil's watching that clock. He's just counting down, waiting to see what happens. And they're going to obviously take the captains out there and do the absolutely mindless, yes, we do want the football. They want to shorten these games, Jeff. This is a way to do it. This is, to me, again.
Have you seen any official? Here they come.
No, I have not seen
There's
officials. There's 3 minutes back on the clock. There we go. Both teams on their sidelines and undefeated for 3 seasons. 3 minutes on the clock. You're welcome, Kevin McClung. I told you, Kevin McClung filling in for the great Mike Rubin behind the PA tonight and doing a fantastic job. So big shoes to fill, and he's doing a great job tonight here at Memorial Stadium.
Well, the one official has the football. They must have lost it at halftime. They couldn't find it, and they're late getting back out here.
Can we penalize them?
Yeah, remember it used to be a delay of game?
We would be penalized if we were late getting out there. And John Paul letting him know what he thinks about that. John Paul, this is season number 48 for John Paul Parsons, Jeff, for the Ripley Vikings.
I remember John Paul well, and he has stood the test of time. The only ball boy I've ever seen get a penalty up in Parkersburg.
Yep. These might be the least energized officials I've seen there.
Coach Marino took it well.
Yeah. Coach Marino was not pleased with that penalty. Maybe we're going to call our own penalties here in the second half, like a old man basketball on Sunday afternoon. Call your own foul.
Well, it'll be interesting as we get ready to start the second half of play if the Vikings, as we wait for everyone to meet at midfield.
What on earth is going on? I don't understand what the holdup is. Both teams were out, ready to go. Now the official's having a conversation with Steve Sayre on this side.
I think Coach Sayre's saying, hey, we're ready to go. What's the holdup here? So here they go. The captains are going to.
I petition a 23-minute halftime clock. Again.
Well, they got one. They just don't put all 23 on at one time.
So the captains will meet at midfield again. Vikings won the toss. They deferred till the second half. They will, yes, Mr. Official, we want the football. Which way do you want to kick it? And that will be the formality of this moment. (20-0), the Vikings trailing here as we patiently await the beginning of the second half. And Jeff, I think at the end of that first half, we saw the ability to move the ball through the air. I know you can't just completely go away from the run game, but do you get a little more pass happy here in the second half?
Well, you know, I think you can set up the run by the pass in high school football. You know, most traditional teams set up the pass with the run, but, you know, when you're down 20-0, sometimes you need to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And if we can catch them in the right down and distance where we can stretch the field a little bit, that's what we need to do, for sure. So let's see if the Vikings can get something going here as we prepare to start the second half of play as the clock winds all the way down.
And we're hopeful they don't put another 3 minutes on the clock here as both teams are out on the field ready to go. It'll be Aiden D'Amico deep along with Isaac Creel.
As the officiating crew gets to their spots.
And it'll be Wyatt Mason. He'll kick it off from the near hash, kicking from our left to right. Awaiting the ready to play from the referee. Finally, we are ready for football. Low lining kick fielded at the 23-yard line up across the 30, reversing field, 35. Now cutting it back, still on his feet at the 40, and he's out at the 41-yard line. Good return.
Sure was. And flags down everywhere as a little extracurricular going on out there in the middle of the field. And let's see how that ends up. But a great return by the Vikings. They tried to squib it. And we got a great return.
I think that was Vaughn on the carry. It was hard to tell, and a personal foul. I think that might have been Michael Vaughn on the return. Penalty flags at the
I think you're
38-yard line.
28, I believe, is Michael Vaughn, and that's who looked like had the ball. But we're going to go backwards. You know, when you're down 20 points, Brian, these are the things that keep you from getting back into ball game, and you've just got to be disciplined. We've seen some other teams throughout the years that come to mind that were very undisciplined, that had great athletes, and the Vikings were able to beat them because of that.
There's a handoff to Lawrence and just tough sledding in there, Jeff. Nowhere to run.
And Buckhannon, as you said, right there waiting for Lawrence to go up into the middle of that big defensive line. They're going to lose about a yard, maybe a yard and a half on that carry.
So it'll be second down and about 10 and a half. As another penalty flag will fly pre-snap.
Now they jumped up into the line of scrimmage on the motion, but did we flinch? Let's see what the call is. Side judge going into the referee area, and offsides. So Vikings get 5 back without running in another play. A second down. What was second down in 11 or 12 is now back to second and about 7.
So a gift there.
That might be
another penalty.
Are we giving it back to him here?
I'm afraid we might be.
So sloppy start to the second half, Brian, to say the least, as the Vikings come out trailing 20-0. Get a good return on the kickoff, get a unsportsmanlike conduct call, and now a motion call after an offsides call. So moves it back to second and 11.
This has not been a thing of beauty, has it, Jeff? Back at the 23-yard line. This time the handoff to Creel, and he has a little bit of running room. He'll squirt out around the 25, still on his feet.
Creel goes up inside, not a whole lot of running room, tries to make a little bit of a juke in the hole. Can't get loose, but does pick up a few yards for the Vikings.
It'll be 3rd and 7. We have a player down. One of the Vikings, I believe, down on the field will step out as they attend to the injured player. 10:35 to go here in the third period, 20-0. The Vikings trail. More Viking football after this. here at Memorial Stadium at the Viking 25-yard line. Coach Sayer out there along with a couple of other assistant coaches expressing their concern. Never a good sign, Jeff. You certainly think about cramps in a moment like this, but this does not appear to be that.
No, and of course we never speculate what's going on down there, and we really don't have a great view of it anyway, Brian, to even tell where they're administering help out there. But nonetheless, a young man down. We had an injury last week, I think, that required surgery this week on an ankle. So it's, you know, very tense moment when you see a young man down out there on the field.
Not moving much, but is moving. Legs pretty still, but is moving his hands a little bit, and they're obviously being very cautious, as you would imagine. I think that's Isaac Creel, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, Steve Lowe, one of the best in the business. He doesn't take any chances with these young men and young women at the at Ripley High School when it comes to sporting events. So,
very somber moment here at Memorial Stadium. Put the scoreboard aside. A young man down on the turf. Don't care what team you're rooting for. You certainly hate to see that. So we'll step out once again as we await I believe they're going to bring the cart out to get Isaac off the field. And again, we hope this is all precautionary as the Viking team will huddle up on the near sideline and have a team prayer. We'll step out. More Viking football after this. Examination, and hopefully he will be back at full strength real soon.
Yeah, he was running back on that last play, Brian, and I didn't really see a big hit administered to him, but it doesn't always take a big hit. These guys get themselves in situations from time to time where it doesn't take a whole lot. A wrong hit at a wrong angle at the wrong time, and things don't always give like they should or would. So tough situation here as we await, as you said, the medical team on the field to get him loaded up and get him over to get some x-rays, get some help, get some attention to whatever the injuries are.
So Jeff, again, this slows everything down, and it certainly turns everyone's attention to the health of that young man. But here in a few moments, they're going to be asked to get back under center and execute and that's part of sports. And we'll pray for Isaac and hope he's okay. But his teammates here in just a moment are going to have to refocus. That's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, and you know, you've been there, I've been there, and it's you know, you do have concern. But you know, you go back out and you can't think about it. But you know, got a game to play. They will continue to play, and we'll keep check on Isaac after the ball game. I'm sure get an update, and maybe even the coaching staff and players may even get some kind of update even before this game's over. So hopefully everything's positive, but they're going to take every precaution, as we said, to administer whatever is needed to Isaac, and we'll take all the time needed to get him over into the ambulance and to the hospital.
Again, as you said, Steve Lowe, one of the best in the business. He does a fantastic job here leading the way for our training staff and making sure student athletes are safe, not just ours, but our opponents as well. And he's in charge down there along with some of the EMTs, some police staff down there as well, as they attend to Isaac. Again, just a somber moment, never a moment you like to see. But again, unfortunately, it happens from time to time. And again, as you said, hopefully it's just precautionary.
And I will say, based on what I've seen the last couple of weeks, with my father taking a fall, we've got some really good EMTs, really good paramedics, really good people here in Jackson County who are on call 24/7.
Give us an update on that young man. How's he doing?
Doing better. He's in the hospital over here at Jackson General, WVU Medicine, and in swing bed doing rehab and getting stronger every day. Still in a lot of pain from the broken and punctured lung, broken ribs and punctured lung, I should say, and broke his pelvis in a couple places, but he seems to be managing that pretty good. It's more the ribs, and any of us has had broken ribs before know how long that takes to heal. But he's I want to thank everybody for their thoughts, prayers, cards, everything that's come my dad's way here. I was even asked as we were pulling in by the administration here at the school how he was doing, and so things are looking up.
I hope I'm in as good a shape as he's in when I'm 85 years old.
That says a lot, Brian, because you know he just turned 85, and he's that probably saved him a lot more pain for sure.
Isaac Creel with a thumbs up as they wheel him toward the ambulance, so that is a good sign. And prayers with you, young man. Hope to see you out and about soon. He's a fantastic kid, and his smile lights up a room, Jeff. He's a great kid, and we just hope and pray all the best for him.
That's correct. You know, young man really getting a lot of playing time here this year. Great athlete, great speed. And so you're right, Brian. Let's see if we can get him patched up. The thumbs up was a great sign as he was taken across the field.
So it'll be 3rd and 7 from their own 26. Pritt under center. Rolling to his right, looking downfield. He's got time. Now under pressure, and he's going to eat it back at the 15-yard line, Jeff, and he just hung on to it just a little too long that time.
And, Brian, we had a lot of time in between plays, and to come out and roll right and try to throw the ball after being shut down for that long, that wasn't an easy play to do, but it's going to bring up 4th down and long for the Vikings as Noah Casto now is hobbling off. I don't know if it's a cramp or what, but he goes to the sideline, and that would be a huge loss for the Vikings as he goes down on the sideline.
So back to punt it away for the Vikings. First time tonight. A low lining punt. It'll take a big Viking Bounce across midfield down near the 40-yard line. It's Parker Kelly down at the 41-yard line.
And Kelly was, that punt got out of there. He got bounced around a little bit back there, Brian, but as you said, came out low and on the turf. It took a Viking bounce. But still, Buckhannon will start in great field position. Their first drive of the second half, it seems like it's taking a long time. 9:37 to go here in the third period of play. Buckhannon leads Ripley 20-0.
So that'll be a 44-yard punt with no return as Tenney breaks the huddle. 3 backs in the backfield. Single receiver is Strader, split to the field. Handoff. It's Yardley, or no, it's Johnston, excuse me, and he's gone into the secondary. 25-20, 15-10, 5. No! Tracked down by the speedster, Aiden D'Amico. I thought he was going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown saving tackle there by D'Amico, showing a burst.
There's a flag on the play right at the...
Oh, my.
Right in the hole where he broke through. I didn't see that flag early, and they're going to bring it back. D'Amico never gave up on the play. They're going to call a hold on the Buccaneers. So,
how about the effort, Jeff, of Aiden D'Amico? I mean,
never gave up on it.
What a great effort by that young man.
Yeah, and we know his heart's huge, Brian. That young man, he gives you everything he's got. He's not great in stature, but boy, he never gave up on that play. And fortunately for the Vikings, it's going to come back.
So that penalty flag will be assessed from the 44-yard line. Johnston will get 3 yards on the carry. That'll bring up 1st and 17 for the Buccaneers. So Tenney, once again, same formation. They flip Strader to the near side. Hands it off again. Same play this side, and the Vikings not having it. That's Johnston again on the carry.
Good job by the Viking front line of making initial contact there and kind of mucking it up a little bit, and Lawrence is there to make the stop.
1 yard gain. So it will be 2nd and 16 from the 35-yard line. 20-0. Buccaneers in charge here this evening with 8:45 to go here in the third. Very slow pace to this offense as they just want to wear you down, run the football at you all night. Here's Morris again. He'll be stacked up after a gain of a couple.
And you can see that the Vikings have made a halftime adjustment on the defensive side. They've tried that play a couple times, Brian, and we've been right there. They did make a big run, but there was a hold in the hole that opened it up. So Vikings have adjusted defensively here to start the second half.
Somewhat favorable spot. I think he stopped about a yard behind that, but 3rd and 13 nonetheless. Tenney again under center. Morris the single setback. Play action, rolling near side, looking downfield, throws it off balance, up for grabs for Strader, diving attempt, can't get to it. Tough throw on the run, falls incomplete.
Yeah, not a whole lot there as the Vikings had it covered pretty well in the secondary that time as Tenney rolled to his right, threw off balance, could have been picked, but it brings up a punting situation, so the Vikings will get the ball back.
Bryson Johnston to punt it away. Deep to return will be Parker Boyd. Punts out of there. End over end punt. Parker lets it bounce and takes a Viking bounce right into the hands of a Buccaneer at the 33-yard line. No return.
55 on the touch that time. Jeremy Streets, 6'1", 188-pound senior on the punt coverage team. As the Vikings now will start this drive, Brian, at about the 33-yard line. Not bad field position once again. Let's see if we can get something going here. 7:51 to go. We trail 20-0 to Buckhannon.
So Vikings looking to get it going offensively. Here's Pritt. Hands it off to Casto, and he weaves his way through the defense for about 4 yards.
Noah must have got that cramp worked out as he's back in there and running hard. Picks up positive yardage. So it's going to be second and about 6 for the Vikings.
So the Vikings looking to get it going offensively. Pritt, they found something in the throwing game in that late in that first half. Another nice catch there. That's Noah Casto again. That ball was a little tough to corral, but he was able to get it down.
Noah plays on Friday nights like it's a sandlot game. I mean, he's just always around the ball. He goes up and grabs it for a pass. He'll run it up in there. Has no fear out there.
So 2 plays for Noah Casto so far. Ball at the 39. Be third down. Out of the pocket, Pritt flushed, and an awkward sack all the way back to 25, and he fumbles the football, and it's Buckhannon Upshur ball at the Viking 25.
Yeah, and I wanted to see how Pritt got up because you said it, man. He was entangled back there. We're watching the replay. He got up around the shoulder pad and couldn't keep control of the ball with his right hand, got bent awkwardly. He pops back up, but fumbles the football, and Buckhannon Upshur there in great position at the 25-yard line, Brian. That's where they'll take over after the Viking turnover.
So great opportunity here for the Buccaneers once again after a 14-yard loss on the sack and fumble. It's Zuliani, and it's Drake Davis on the carry down to the 19. Morris, excuse me.
And again, they found running room over there. The Vikings had made an adjustment the last couple times they ran that. That time they got caught up in the wash inside a little bit and couldn't get out to the ball carrier, and he finds running room out there on the left side, Brian, for 6 yards.
So this is a big opportunity here for the Buccaneers to really put the Vikings in a tough spot, falling down 4 scores. There's Morris again. He takes a shot right to the chops. At about the 17-yard line, he went up in there and paid for that one.
What a stick that time as Moore met him right in the hole, Brian, and as you said, lit him up. Mountaintop Media, great camera coverage here tonight, giving us different angles and replays also to make sure we try to get the ball carriers right and the guys out there making the tackles.
Great push. Morris not even touched till he gets to the 5-yard line. He falls down to about the 3. He'll get about 14. Aiden D'Amico on the stop.
And if D'Amico isn't there, he's dancing in the end zone, partner, as he was able to, as you said, he got through the line of scrimmage untouched, got into the secondary, and D'Amico comes up and makes the stop, saving the touchdown.
So they'll give him yardage to the 4, or the 3, excuse me. It'll be first and goal at the 3. Tenney under center, 3 backs in the backfield. Vikings showing pressure. Give to Yardley, and he walks into the end zone for the Buccaneer touchdown. Great push by that offensive line.
And Brian, you notice the splits of the Buccaneers of Buckhannon, their lineman splits, they don't have any. They're almost heel to heel as we see the replay, and they just use their bulk to wedge up in there and give that running back opportunity to hide behind them and squeak through.
Wyatt Mason to attempt the extra point kick, Tenney to hold. Vikings may have been offsides. Kick is low and just inside the left upright. The kick is up and good, and it is 27-0 Buckhannon Upshur.
He almost kicked that off the ground, Brian. The holder dropped it, looked like, and didn't get it set, but he did what you're supposed to do, went right through and kicked the ball up, and it was able to clear the goalpost for the PAT.
Let's go down to the sideline. Hall's Tire sideline report. Phil, It's been a night of missed opportunities for the Vikings so far.
Yeah, that's right, Brian. But, credit the Viking defense the last 6 or 7 minutes. They really tried to bow their backs there. They got the stop that they wanted, got the ball back. And, that's a tall order to stop that Buckhannon Upshur offensive line on the short field there, as much size as they have, and get that leverage to put that ball in. But we're getting to that point of the game where we need to score. We need to score bad. I feel like we're at a point where if we just prove that this team can score a touchdown, I think the cap's going to come off, and maybe we'll be able to get a little momentum and at least build something. Trust the tire experts at Hall's Tires, serving Jackson County for over 40 years. Michelin and BF Goodrich tires, plus comprehensive auto services. Call 372-3799.
All right, thanks, Phil. Caleb Parsons along with Cody Lawrence deep to return the kickoff. Low lining kick into the hands of D'Amico at the 21. The Speedster still on his feet at the 40. 45, dragging a Buccaneer out across the 45 out to the 46. And there is another young man that has no quit in him.
And that burst of speed got him up the field quickly. And then, as you said, he took on contact, Brian, and didn't back down. Lowered those shoulders, kept driving those legs, carries it out beyond the 45 to the 46-yard line. First down, Vikings. Good field position once again to start the drive here in the third quarter.
As Phil said, Jeff, something positive needs to happen. You need to get in the end zone. You need to feel a little better about yourself from an offensive standpoint. They've moved the football from time to time tonight, and there have been times like that where Yardley just soaks up that jet sweep for D'Amico, just nowhere to run.
Coming across that line of scrimmage, very, very flat, Brian, and if you don't get any push, he's got nowhere to go, and he tries to string it out with his speed, but the pursuit there and the upfield push by the Buccaneers just blows that play out.
So a loss, 2nd and 14 now. Pritt under pressure, throws it in the flat behind D'Amico, and Pritt takes a shot from the backside.
And takes a shot. You said it. And here on the replay shows the ball actually got out there, and D'Amico had a chance to make a catch. He was, going away from it, of course, and trying to come back and make a play. Just couldn't hold it off his hip that time.
So 3rd down and long for the Vikings. 4:07 remaining here in the third period.
Pritt has shown some toughness here tonight, Brian. He's taking some shots back there.
Time, he throws it near side. Nice ball. Parker Boyd's got it. 25-20. Tracked down from behind at about the 13. Just a go route down the near sideline, and a perfect throw and catch from Pritt to Boyd. And that'll hopefully get the Vikings in a position to score a touchdown at the 13-yard line.
Parker Boyd getting off the line of scrimmage clean, just turned on the jets, was able to beat the Buckhannon defender. That was Chase Hackett on coverage, and he was nowhere in sight. Great pitch and catch.
39-yard pitch and catch, and that one in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and that's Connor Casto.
He had six.
Another tall, rangy receiver.
He had 6 if he brings it in. He was wide open and a little high, but catchable. And Connor just wasn't able to grab that one. I'm sure his eyes were wide open.
2nd and 10 at the 13. 3:43 to go here in the third period. Pritt in the pistol. Lawrence behind him. He'll hand it off, delay handoff. And Yardley in there on the initial contact. Couple of yards for Lawrence down to the 14.
Yeah, Lawrence was trying to get loose, Brian. He got up into the interior line there and got stood up, but he continued to try to pull his way free, just couldn't get loose. So 3rd down now and 10 to go for the Vikings at the 13-yard line, back at the 14 now.
So Vikings, Pritt, he'll throw it over the outstretched hands of Parker Boyd. So it'll be 4th down.
And once again, Parker had found a seam in that defense. Passed a little bit high, couldn't draw it in. So let's see what the Vikings do here on 4th down. I'm sure they're going to go for it. Trailing 27-0, 3:03 to go here in the 3rd period of play.
They're going to bring Raider in to attempt a field goal.
Well, good. Let's get some points on the board. Let's get something positive going here.
This will be a 31-yard field goal, well within his range. Boyd gets a snap down, kick is up, and it is good. The Vikings are on the board in 27-3, as Devin Raider connects and the Vikings break the seal in 2023. We'll step out. More Viking football after this on C98, the Bull.
We have a missing red icon in the front. Missing red icon.
So Mason Gandy will kick it off for the Vikings. 27-3 they trail, and watch the onside here, Jeff.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say.
Let's try something.
Mason very good at the onside kick. Nope, they're going to kick it away. Fooled me, and jumping on it down to 22. The squibbing kick is Yardley. No return.
Is that Yardley
Or Johnston, excuse me.
Yeah, 3 and 8. Those numbers are hard to see. Got a message from our good friend Angie Litton talking about Rube at halftime, and she said, we got Rube Berry down in the concession stand. I think that and some kettle corn. So
it's outstanding.
Yeah.
1st and 10 at the 22. Vikings finally cracked the scoreboard here in the 3rd period with a 31-yard field goal from Devin Raider. Here's Yardley sidestepping Viking tackles across the 25 out to the 28-yard line.
Buckhannon continues, Brian, to
Johnston, excuse me.
Pound that ball up in there, and they're not going to change their strategy, that's for sure. No reason to. They've been successful at running the football all night long. The Viking defense needs to step up now and try to get another 3 and out, get them off the field. 2:31 to go here in the game, trailing 27-3. Ripley trails Buckhannon.
Break the huddle, slow to the line. Yardley, Johnston, and Davis in the backfield. The give is to Yardley this time, and he bounces off the initial contact. Falls forward. Noah Casto in there on the stop, along with Michael Vaughn.
And Brian, you called it. They ran that play with 2 seconds left on the play clock. So they're methodically just moving the ball down, moving the chains, taking all the time they can off the clock, not going to allow the Vikings to get back into this ball game.
Shorten the game, as they would say. Something that has been done a lot on this field. A lot by the other team in blue and white, the Vikings, over the years. Here's Johnston on the carry, right side, and he'll be stopped by Colin Moore out at the 40-yard line. So another nice gainer on first down.
Yeah, initial contact there by Casto, and he's hobbling again. You can see him trying to stretch that cramp out. Tough night tonight. Very hot, sunny night when we started this ball game. It's cooled down a little bit here as the evening went on, but boy, you got to hydrate, and it starts early in the week. You just can't do it the night of the game. So not a whole lot of cramps here tonight, but Noah, who has played a lot of football out there tonight on both sides, cramping up just a little bit.
It's 12 tackles for Colin Moore here tonight. Here's the handoff. It's Johnson again, and he's tackled by the 40-yard line.
Yes, he was. Let's sign him up, the 40-yard line. That's the best tackle we've seen here by a yard line in a while. But, yeah, he was trying to make a cut there, Brian, plant that foot, and there was some room. There was some room on the back cut if he stays on his feet. I think he got a little anxious.
He had some room, no question. Football just shy of the 42-yard line. So third down and a long two. Tenney under center. Hands it off to Johnston left side. All kinds of running room across midfield and into Viking territory at the 45. Colin Moore in there along with Michael Vaughn.
That ball was not supposed to go where Johnston went. He saw the opening on the outside. He got out there, used his wide receiver to shield a defender and cut it right back up inside on the hash mark and made great yardage as the third period expires here in Ripley.
So the Vikings will go to the final period of play here in the home opener, trailing 27-3 to the Buckhannon Upshur Buccaneers. Will return with the fourth quarter after this on C98, The Bull. Begin here from the Health Center, the Memorial Stadium, Death Valley Memorial Stadium. Health Center across the way. Here's the handoff inside. I believe that is 22. Hedrick, first carry of the night for him.
Daniel Hedrick, a 5'6", 161-pound junior. As you see some new numbers out there for the Buccaneers in the lineup, but not a whole lot there. Their running backs do a good job of getting their pads low, Brian, and continuing to drive forward and get positive yardage, even when the contact's right at the line of scrimmage.
So second down and 8. Tenney again under center. Pitches it far side to Johnston. Running room, following blocks across the 40, 35, 30, and he's ran out of bounds by D'Amico.
And again, play's supposed to go up inside. He bounces it to the outside, and when he got out there, they had blockers in front, Brian, and they peel back and knock back the pursuit of the Vikings, and they get another first down.
Well, marking down at the 29, a gain of 13.
I'm just wondering, how good is that Bridgeport team? And then how good is that Morgantown team that was having their way with Bridgeport earlier?
Johnston now with 52 yards this evening on 9 carries. As you said, new players in the ball game. Johnston gets the call again, left side, and shakes off Noah Casto to pick up a couple of more yards as he will finally be brought to the turf by Cody Lawrence in there.
Trying to get an update. Last score I have for Morgantown Bridgeport is 22-14, so Bridgeport coming back making that game. We knew they weren't going to lay down.
Not that program, Jeff. They're not going to go away. 10:30 remaining in this one. 24-point lead for the Buccaneers. Tenney will hand it off this time to Morris, and he's into the Vikings secondary all the way down to the 15-yard line.
And it seems like Mr. Morris has that play figured out pretty well here tonight, Brian. They've ran that one to him multiple times, and he seems to get positive yardage each and every time.
Mason Filial on the stop after a gain of 9. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 15. Filial. Nice stop defensively as Tenney unbalanced line. He'll hand it off. It's Morris again left side, and just a great push, and what an effort by that young man as he carries Viking tacklers all the way down inside the 1-yard line. That's Cody Lawrence on the stop. That's a gain of 14.
And
he
man,
can smell the end zone.
You're not kidding. I thought he was going to be down outside the 5, and he just continued to drive, Brian, and pull Viking defenders forward. But man, what an effort.
What a night for him as he's now 122 or 136 yards on 18 carries. That's 7.5 per. It's Tenney under center at the 1. We'll give it to Morris again, and he'll get into the end zone for the Buccaneer touchdown. 33-3 now, pending the extra point.
And I'm sure the Vikings were looking for that on the defensive side of the ball, but that big offensive line just gets that push. Morris runs very hard, got a good block from his fullback that time, and gets it into the end zone with ease for another touchdown, extending the lead to 33-3.
So it will be Wyatt Mason in again to attempt the extra point kick. Snap back. Kick is up, and it is good. As the Buccaneers now lead it by 31 here at Memorial Stadium. Let's go down to the sideline. Hall's Tires sideline report. And Phil, tough night tonight, but still an opportunity for the Vikings to get a little momentum as they look forward to Lincoln County next week.
Yeah, and as we continue to start to look for a little silver lining in the clouds here, you know, Aiden D'Amico hasn't really gotten free offensively like I think he would have liked to, but what a game he's had defensively. We've called his name 3 or 4 times on big plays, the touchdown-saving chase down from behind. And if you remember, at Buckhannon Upshur last year was Aiden D'Amico's big coming-out game offensively. So to see him again this year against the same opponent come out and have a strong defensive game really shows the versatility that this kid, as he's one of the leaders of the Vikings right now, and probably will be for the season. Trust the tire experts at Hall's Tires, serving Jackson County for over 40 years. Michelin, BF Goodrich Tires, plus comprehensive auto services too. Call 372-3799.
Thank you, Phil. 9:42 to go in this one, 34-3. So the outcome is settled, Jeff. But again, still time to work, still time to get better, and Vikings will go back to the drawing board this week and look to see if they can right some wrongs again and get a victory down at Lincoln County. But a low kick misplayed, and it is going to be picked up back in around the 5-yard line. And that's Cody Lawrence, and he's going to be stopped. Football was muffed. It was a low kick. The return man, I believe, was Mason Gandy. Tried to come up and make that play. Couldn't come up with it. Not Mason Gandy. Caleb Parsons, excuse me. Cody Lawrence there to bail them out at about the 6.
Tough night for the Vikings. Special teams had some miscues in the kicking game early, and now that. And Coach Sayre mentioned that in pregame. You know, they misplayed a couple kicks last week against Brooke. Updated score, Brian Winfield 28, Herbert Hoover 22 now in the 4th period of play. So the Huskies making a little comeback.
And the Vikings,
Safety.
looks like they're going to ask for a safety, but they're going to give him the ball carrier. They're going to give him yardage out to the 1-yard line. A loss of 4.
That was going to be a little throwback to the quarterback, who was wide open over on the right side, just didn't have time to turn and set himself and make the play.
That was Parker Keller on the carry. Youngster.
So, Brian, as you said, tough night for the Vikings, trailing 34-3 here to Buckhannon and Upshur, and work to do. And with almost 9 minutes to go, you can still go out there and play, and you try to solidify some of the things you're trying to teach these kids.
Peyton Keller in at quarterback, throws an interception. It's picked off at the 4 and ran in for the touchdown. Bad to worse here tonight for the Vikings.
Yeah, and this, if we get that replay, it looked like there was a Viking open. The ball just came out flat, Brian, and here's our replay. Yep, had the tight end wide open. They just undercut it and
sorry, that was Peyton Keller.
Get the touchdown. So turnover leads to a touchdown. And
tough night, Jeff. Another tough night for the Vikings.
And a muffed snap is
turns
picked
into
up.
2 points.
Yeah. Is that Tenney that ran that in?
I believe it was the quarterback, Hackett, or Tenney, excuse me.
Wow.
So 42-3 now.
You know, it's your night.
When it's your night, it's your night.
Yeah, and just a breakdown over there on that edge. I'm sure they were trying to get in there and block that PAT, but the overrun leaves the right side open, and Tenney, with it, good athleticism, good speed, is able to get out of there and make a play.
Now at this point, Jeff, you just need to stay healthy for next week. You certainly don't want to lose any more players, as you trail by 39 points here with 8:42 remaining in the ball game.
Yeah, for sure, Brian. We don't need anybody dinged up to the point where, you know, you got to go back to the drawing board. Boy, St. Albans, we were talking about them off the air a little bit earlier. They're trailing Nitro 77-0. Tough times for the Dragons down at St. Albans.
Connor Pritt, number 23, deep to return for the Vikings. He's standing at the 17-yard line. Close to being offsides, kicks it over toward the far sideline, and ball's mishandled over there, and finally diving on it at the 17-yard line is Peyton Keller, excuse me.
And that's probably something that the coaching staff will be working on this week. Brown with the kick returns.
So the Vikings will have it at the 18-yard line, 1st and 10.
We've done a pretty good job. They've kicked it deep some. They've squibbed it a little bit, and we've had good field position early in the game on our kick return team, but last couple haven't been good.
So 2 defensive touchdowns in this ball game for the Buccaneer defense, and they're going to make it 2 in a row against the Vikings after the Vikings had been 6-0 against the Buccaneers coming into the ball game last season, so 6-2 now, the all-time series. Vikings still lead that. Keller hands it off to, I believe that might be his brother, Peyton. We'll see as they unpile. It is.
Yep.
Brother takes the hand off.
How cool would that be?
It'll be pretty cool.
But the Vikings, once again, with a little over 7 minutes to play here in the fourth period, trailing 42-3. Tough home opener here tonight.
Just been a tough start to the season for the Vikings. Keller under all kinds of pressure, just nowhere to go. He's going to be sacked back around the 10-yard line. We'll see where they give him yardage to. And they still have a lot of their starters in, Jeff.
Yeah, they do. And they're just pinning their ears back and coming after these youngsters out here for the Vikings. A lot of new numbers out there on the offensive side of the ball for Ripley. And they are being tried by fire, that's for sure.
3rd and 15 from what appears to be the 13-yard line. Keller under center. Hands it off to his brother, Keller, and there's nowhere to go. A lot of white jerseys down there. And Hedrick in on the initial contact.
Counted 5 defenders there. They run to the football, Brian. And this is a good coach football team from Buckhannon and Upshur. I'm really shocked of that score from last week. We know Bridgeport's good, and it could be a head thing with them. They've struggled against Bridgeport year in, year out.
Keller to punt it, and he's roughed. We'll see if they call it, and they do. Luckily, it's going to be downed at the 23-yard line, but all for naught, as roughing the punter will be called. And that will be a big break for the Vikings.
Yeah, let's keep these youngsters out there on the field. See if
it's running into a roughing. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
If it's running into, it will not be a first down. If it's roughing, it will be an automatic first down, as the officials will discuss.
The defender tried to get away, hit him with his back, but he was in a vulnerable position. So I think that's the right call, Brian. Roughing, got that leg extended. You know what that's like. It's no fun.
Yeah, it's certainly a dangerous spot to be in. There's no doubt about it. And that will be push the football out to the 26-yard line, actually the 25 and a half, we'll call it. 1st and 10. Got to protect those kickers, Jeff.
Yep. Having trouble getting the score from Rome County. Finally got one up, and Rome County leads Lincoln County 34-6 in the fourth period.
Peyton Keller calls his own number. Breaking tackles as he pushes out near the 29-yard line.
Peyton says, heck, if I'm going to take some licks back here passing, I'm just going to call my own number and run this little quarterback draw. Get something positive on the stat list.
You may have a sibling rivalry going on there as well, Jeff. Wolverton on the stop. 2nd down and 7 at the 29-yard line. 4:15, clock turning, 42-3, home opener. It'll be another tough loss for the Vikings tonight. Keller under center. Man in motion. They hand it off on the jet sweep, and there's nowhere to go. It's Levi Paxton, or Levi Posey, excuse me. It's Kay, the ball carrier.
Winfield's extended their lead out to 35-22. Now in the fourth period, they come back with a score as Herbert Hoover was within 6.
3rd down and 10. Here's Keller looking to throw. He's going to throw a nice ball down the far sideline, and it's going to be caught for a first down, and I think that's Carter Neal. We'll see as they get up off the pile. No, that is That's Pritt. That's Connor Pritt on the catch.
Great job of coming back. The ball was underthrown just a tad, but the receiver was aware of where the ball was. And Pritt comes back and makes a great catch in traffic to get the first down yardage for the Vikings at the 50-yard line.
Nice pitch and catch. Zach Simmons on the stop, so 1st and 10 at midfield. Keller under all kinds of pressure. Nice play as he floats it out into the flat to his brother. He makes a catch who steps out of bounds.
Boy, he made a good move over there on that sideline, Brian. If he hadn't stepped out, he would have still been on his feet running. But good job of eluding the pressure and getting the ball out.
Great heads-up play, too, Jeff. It looked like he was going to be sacked in the backfield, and he was able to have enough presence of mind to get that football out of there and get some positive yardage out of it, as Keller will be in the gun this time. Flushed out of the pocket, call his own number, tucks it down on the left side, and he'll run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Nice play.
Good job of looking up the field, getting all the yardage you possibly can, getting out of bounds. Vikings out there still battling, trying to get into the end zone, Brian, with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go here in this ball game. Trailing 42-3.
90 seconds remaining. Peyton Keller in the gun. Takes a snap, looking under pressure again, eludes the pressure, looking downfield, rolling near side, throws it up for grabs, and incomplete as it falls to the turf.
Did a good job.
89, Parker Smith, the intended receiver.
He did a good job. He waved him down the field, trying to make something happen. He knows with this running clock that they've only got so many plays left, and he was going to try to make something happen that got us in the end zone. 35 yards to go to pay dirt, so with under 1 minute to go, Vikings going to have a big play here.
Keller again in the gun, looking downfield, has time, throws it down the far sideline, and it falls incomplete out of the outstretched hand of the intended receiver, Connor Pritt.
Nice try, Brian, and once again, trying to get something down the field, stretching that defense, but got to hustle back to the line of scrimmage.
This will be the final play of the ball game, and the Vikings will take a timeout so they can at least get one more play in here. With 10 seconds remaining in the ball game, and he's got a good arm, Jeff. Peyton Keller can launch the football for a little guy, no doubt.
Yeah. 10 seconds. 42-3. Tough night for the Vikings here at home on the National Guard Gridiron Series. Camouflage uniforms just couldn't get it done here tonight for the Vikings. They'll return to their blue and white next week as we travel to Lincoln County.
So out of the timeout with 10 seconds remaining, Peyton Keller will look to get the Vikings in the end zone one last time here. Snap back in the gun. He's under pressure, rolling near side, looking downfield, and is unable to get away from this Buccaneer defense, and out of bounds will go Keller, forced out by Foster, and that'll do it. Back at the 40-yard line. We'll step out when we return. We'll have the WVU Medicine Jackson General Hospital post-game report after this on C98, The Bull.
Angie's Flat Mop and Shine.
home opener. Not one the Vikings will want to remember tonight, Jeff. 42-3, the final score. Buckhannon, Upshur Buccaneers with their biggest win all time against the Vikings. A 39-point victory here tonight. Vikings got on the board with a 31-yard field goal by Devin Rader in the third period, and that was it for the scoring. A couple of turnovers for the Vikings resulted in a couple of touchdowns for the Buccaneers. You looked at the score at halftime. It was 20-0, but with the turnovers and the miscues on offense, very easily could have been 14-10, and then things just spiraled out of control for the Vikings in the third.
Yeah, we just couldn't get it done, Brian, when we had opportunities in the red zone early. Came away with no points, as you said, that could have very easily been 2 scores. But hats off to Buckhannon and Upshur. They bowed their necks when they needed to and got shut down the Vikings, kept them from getting in the end zone. Once again, the Vikings have not been able to score a touchdown in 2 games, as the field goal the only points thus far this season. And got to regroup. Travel to Lincoln County next week. Brand new stadium. They're excited about that down there. They're not doing real well on the gridiron tonight over in Roane County. They're trailing Roane County, I think, 34-6. So we'll be playing a Lincoln County team that has no wins on the season also. So travel down there and see if we can have a better ride home than we had from Wellsburg the other night.
Win, lose, or draw, it's never a fun ride home from down there, Jeff. We've made several trips down that way. But, I think when they watch this film, there were some things offensively that I think they'll be encouraged about. Tyson did a better job in the pocket tonight. He finished the night with over 100 yards passing. A couple of the one turnover that I know he'll lose a little bit of sleep over the weekend. But, some good things were accomplished on offense. We moved the football. We just could not get the score in that first half when we needed to. We had a miscue on a field goal with a drop snap, and then we had an interception at the 1-yard line that resulted in the Viking drive being stopped, and it was a 12-play drive. So they did a lot of nice things moving the football, just couldn't capitalize.
And then, the fumble. He was trying to get rid of the football, tried to throw it forward. It didn't go forward, and the officials made the right call after looking at the replay. The ball did go backwards. It was a fumble. Buckhannon was able to pick it up and get an easy score there. So you take that one off the board, gives them 14. If we could have got the ball into the end zone a couple times early, and what was Coach Frazier used to say? If and buts were candy nuts, every day be Christmas.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way. So tough one. The Vikings just couldn't get it going, couldn't capitalize on opportunities early in the ball game, and dug themselves a hole that they just couldn't get out of.
Well, they'll get another opportunity next Friday night, as you mentioned a moment ago, down at Lincoln County. That kickoff set for 7:30. The WVU Madison Jackson General Hospital countdown to kickoff will begin at 7 p.m. Remember to tune in to C98 tomorrow. Jennifer Redmond's going to have a long evening as she will be in studio, as the Tony Caridi crew will be on for the pregame show. I believe that starts at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon, and Jennifer will be there all the way through the end of the postgame report, roughly till about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So be sure to tune in for Mountaineer football and C98 The Bull, as they will travel to Happy Valley tomorrow to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Remember to tune in next week. As I said, down in Lincoln County, Jeff and I will be there along with Phil. We hope you will join us as well. And a belated happy birthday wish to our big toe, Rick Shannon, as he turned 29 again, I believe, on Thursday, or maybe it was Wednesday. I think it was Thursday. So happy birthday to Shadow as we sign off here tonight to final score from Memorial Stadium. Buckhannon Upshur 42, the Vikings 3. For Jeff Waybright and Phil Iman. I'm Brian Johnson. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for listening. Good night. God bless.